Long ago, we mentioned a dominoes game called All Fives or Muggins, where the dominoes would slowly spread out as the game went on to make a cross shape, a plus shape. And points were scored whenever the numbers farthest from the middle were a multiple of 5, the counting by 5 numbers, 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Our next game is called Snowflake because of its shape, and it is similar, but we can pick which numbers we'll be counting by. So the first time we play, we are going to use the counting by 3 numbers just because it gives us more points, and that's fun. So I'm going to take this page and make a copy of it and put the counting by 3 numbers up there for later. Oh, okay. So before you start, you pick what you're counting by. We're going to count by 3s. And on your turn, roll a 10-sided die. I have one, or you can use your own. And you get to put that number on any of the paths you want. These 8 paths going out from the middle. You always write it as close to the middle as possible. And then keep a running total. What's the outside of all 8 paths? And if the outside is accounting by, in this case, 3 number, then you get a point. It's just yes or no. Do you get a point or not? You never get more than 1 point per turn. And when we fill up all of the spots, then who has the most points? So on this one, I'm going to delete all of these instructions that are taking up room. And I can make that slanted bigger. I think I might even want to put a box behind it so that we can see it better. Okay. So, Jaden, are you still with us? No, Jaden is gone. Okay. Well, the 3 of us will play. So we're trying to count by 3s. So if I roll a 5, it doesn't really matter. Tell me, here, why don't we label these? 1, maybe we should start at the top like a clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Josie, which path do you want to put that 5 in?
8.
8. Okay, so that 5 doesn't belong to Josie. It's just she got to pick where it goes because it's her turn. Then we add up all the outside numbers of all the paths. The only one there is 5. Is 5 a counting by 3 number? No, so Josie doesn't get a point. Okay, April, you roll a 6. You can either put the 6 behind the 5 farther down the path, or you could put it on any blank path.
Put on 4.
Put it on 4. Okay. Now when we add things up, 6 and 5 makes 11. Is 11 a counting by 3 number? No, so no point. Okay, I will roll a 9. If I tuck the 9 on this path, 9 and so this 5 doesn't count anymore, right? It's not the outside most of its path. So now when we add up the outside numbers, 9 and 6, I get 15. So 15 is a counting by 3 number. So I get a point. I'm just going to use tally marks. Jaden, I assume you're still having dinner or something. Holler if you're here. Okay, Josie, you got a 2. Which path do you want to put a 2 on?
On 6.
6, okay. So now we add up 9 and 6 and 2. It's 2 bigger than it was before. We're at 17. No point. April, you got a 9.
Mm, 4.
4. So that 6 is now obsolete. 9 and 9 is 18, plus 2 more is 20. Is 20 a counting by 3 number?
No.
No, no point. Okay. 3. I will replace this 9. Actually, no, I'll just put a new. We need more numbers out there. So 9 and 9 is 18, 20, now we're up to 23. Okay, Josie, we got a 5.
Behind the 9 on the 8.
Okay, so it goes back to 5. So our total just went down by 4. So instead of at 23, we should be at 19. Is that still what we're getting? 5 and 3 is 8, 9, 10, and then 10 and 9 is 19. Yes. April, you rolled a 3. Where do you want it?
We'll go with 2.
Okay. You're making the total bigger by 3. Now the outside numbers have something on path 2 and they didn't before. So bigger by 3, we're going to get to be at 22.
Oops.
6. Well, 24 would give me points. Can I make it bigger by 2? No, there's no 4s to replace for the 6. 21 would give me a point. Can I make it smaller by 1? Is there a 7 I can replace with a 6? No. So I will just put the 6 here. So now we have 5 and 6 is 11, and 9 makes 20, and these two makes it 26. Okay, Josie, you get a 9.
On 5.
So the 5 goes away, back to 9, and you've made it bigger by 4. So instead of 26, you get to 30, which is a counting by 3 number, so you get a point. And path 8 is done. It's going to stay 9 forever now. April, you got a 6. Since it already is a point, can you put it somewhere that doesn't change the total?
I got a 6.
Yeah, if you replace one 6 with another 6, the outside numbers are still the same. It's still 30, so April gets a point.
Thank you.
I roll a 5, so I put a 5 there. Now my total is 35. Is that a counting by 3 number? Let's see. We have 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48, 51. Nope, 35 doesn't get me a point. Okay, Josie, you have a 4.
Where the 9's at?
Where the
The
9 is
where the
at. Oh,
4's at?
so here,
Yes.
so that makes it smaller by 5. So instead of 35, we have 30. That's a point. April, you rolled a 1. So right now it is a point. So make it bigger by 3 or smaller by 3.
Can you put it by the 5 or yeah.
Put it in path 5, a 1.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings it up to 31 because the outside numbers got 1 bigger because a new path has started with a 1. I get a 5. I can put a 5 here. That makes the total smaller by 1. So now we're back down to 30. And I get another point. Josie, you have a 9.
The where the 5's at? The 3? Like behind the
Here.
Yes.
Okay, you can do that, but it's going to get bigger by 4, and 34 isn't accounting by 3 number.
Or on the 7 slot.
Yeah. If you put the 9 here, it just adds 9 to the total, and 39 is accounting by 3 number. Okay, April, you have a 6. Can you make something bigger by 3 or smaller by 3 with a 6?
Number 5. Where the 1 is.
Number 5. So that makes it bigger by 5, going from 1 to 6. So now we're at 44.
Oh, went the wrong way. Oh. I did it wrong. Oh well.
I got 10. I can replace the 9 with a 10, and that makes it bigger by 1. So 45 is on the list. So I get a point. Okay, Josie, you get a 6. Just do something that won't change anything.
Put it under the 6.
Yeah. April, you have a 4. Same tip.
And there's a 4.
I have a 1, so that has to change something. And if I put a 1 here, that goes down by 9 because I'm changing a 10 to a 1. And if I go down by 9, I get to 36, which is still a point. Okay, Josie, you have a 5.
On the 7.
On path 7. That makes it go up by 4 from 1 to 5. So we are at 40. You get a 1, April.
Oh, 1, huh?
Just a 1, yeah.
Put on 1. Put on 1, I guess.
Put it on 1. Okay, so that makes it smaller by 2. So we're at 38. I have a 2. I want to make things a little smaller. So I'm going to change that big 6 to a 2. It goes down by 4. 34 is not a point. Josie, you have a 5.
RC.
At the 1.
So a 5 here. That's going to get bigger by 4. So we're at 38. April, you have a 2. The only things to replace are 5s or a 3. So just 5 or 3.
Hmm. 5.
5. Okay. So that goes down by 3. So you're at 35.
Huh.
I have a 7. I can change this 5 to a 7, which makes it bigger by 2. Josie, you have a 7 also.
By the 3.
So that made it bigger by 4. So we're at 41. April, you have a 6. It's replacing a 7 either way, so it's not much of a choice.
Oh. 3.
So that goes down by 1. We're at 40, which is a nice friendly number, but not counting by 3. I got a 10. If I put it here, it goes up by 3. So that's 43. No points. Josie, you have a 1.
Where the 6 is at.
So that makes it smaller by 5. So 38. Last chance for a point. April gets a 10. So that has to go there. It doesn't change the total, and we're done.
That game was pretty fun.
You want to try it again with counting by 5s?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So I will erase things. And actually, I'm just going to copy that. I can clear the frame. Do that. Try and grab the white background only. Get the counting by 5 list. Okay. I'm going to keep us in the same order because otherwise I'm going to get really confused. Okay, Josie, start us off with a 1.
On the 8.
On the 8. Oh, okay. So the total is 1. That doesn't give us a point. April, you have a 10. So if you put it behind the 1, then the outside is just going to be that 10. If you put it anywhere else, the outside will sum to 11.
5.
5. You're giving up your point. Okay. 10 plus 1 is 11, so not a counting by 5 number. I get a 5, so I can put it behind the 1. 10 and 5 is 15, so that's a counting by 5 number. I get a point. Lucy, you have a 5.
I'll put it behind the 5.
Okay. And you get a point. April, you roll another 1.
I'm 2.
2. Okay. So 10 and 1 and 5 makes 16. I get a 5. I can put it there, and now we have 5 and 5 is 10, another 10 is 20, and I get a point. Josie, you have a 10.
Behind the 10.
Okay, still totals 20. April, you have a 5. We're rolling much easier this time.
Try the 5.
Do you care which one? Path 2
Nope.
or path 8?
Don't matter.
I have an 8. Wherever I put it, it will not work. I'm going to put it right there. So now we have 28 instead of 20. Josie, you have a 2.
On the 3.
So instead of 28, now the total is 30. You get a point. April, a 6.
Mm. By the 2.
Okay, that makes things bigger by 4. So we're at 34. I get a 1. Oh, counting by 5s. So if I just add 1 to the total, that gets 35. And 35 gives me a point. Josie, you have a 4.
Behind the 5 where the 8's at.
Behind the 5.
Where it's 1, 5, 5, and then the 8 there.
So here,
No,
no.
the corner.
Oh,
yeah.
there, path 8, okay. So that makes it smaller by 1, so we're back to 34. Josie, you have a 2. I'm sorry, April, you have a 2. Make it bigger by 1 to get to 35.
Where the 1 is?
Yeah. Replacing the 1 with a 2 makes it bigger by 1. Now the total is 35. A 2. I'm just going to replace your 2 with my own 2. So I get a point. Josie, a 3. Since we're scoring points, you need to change something by 5 to keep getting points.
By the 2.
By the 2. That only makes it bigger by 1.
The what is it, column 2 or whatever, slot 2?
2, that makes it, whoops, no. Yeah, 3. That makes it smaller by 2. Can you put the 3 somewhere that makes it smaller by 5?
The 10.
The 10, no, that makes it smaller by 7.
Oh, the 6 then.
That makes it smaller by 3.
The 8.
The 8. Right? 8 minus 3 is 5. We're going down by 5. So we're at 30. Does that make sense now that you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, Josie, I'm not, sorry, April, you got a 6. That's easy.
By 6.
Yeah, replace another 6 with your 6 and it stays 30. You get a point. Okay, 5. I can replace that 5 with a 5 and it stays 30 and I get a point. Okay, Josie, you have a 2.
Where the 2's at the there.
Yeah, and you get a point. April, you get an 8. So do the opposite of what Josie did a moment ago. Make something bigger by 5, so you're staying multiples of 5.
Mm,
You have an 8.
I've only put in 4.
Okay, you can do that. That makes it 38 total. A 2. If I put a 2 here, that just makes it bigger by 2 and we get to 40. So I get a point. Josie, you have a 7. Can you make something bigger by 5?
Where the 3's at.
That only makes it bigger by 4.
What about the 3 or the 6? That Where the green 3 is at?
Put the 7 there. That makes it bigger by 1, so we're up to 41. Moving from 6 to 7 is just a change of 1. I got a 10.
You skipped me.
Oh, I skipped you. Okay, you have the 10. Sorry.
Oh,
So where
place
do
of,
you want to put a 10?
place
you-
of the 10.
You're not getting any points now. So if you just replace a 10 with a 10, you still don't get points. Can we get up to 45? Can we make it bigger by 4? That would be 6 to 10. No, there's no 6s. And we make it bigger by 9 to get you to 50. That would be 1 to 10. There's no 1s. Yeah, I think you might be stuck. Put it anywhere. You want to just put it by the other 10, like you said?
Yeah.
So that doesn't change it at all. We're still at 41. Okay, now I roll. 4. That 10 is just too big. So if I put a 4 there, it goes down by 6. And 35 gives me a point. Josie, you have a 2.
Behind the other 2?
Okay, you get a point, same total. April, you have a 1.
Um. By the 8.
Okay, it goes down by 7. So we are now at 28. Let's double check that we haven't lost track. So 4, 6, 11, 18, 19, 23, 25, 28. Yeah. Okay, I get an 8. I will put it here, makes it get bigger by 5. That's still not going to be a point. Josie, you have a 7.
Behind the 2?
Okay. That gets bigger by 5, 38. April, you have another 7.
Um. By the 1.
By the 1. Okay, it goes up by 6. So that would put us at 44. I get another 7. That's not going to help. Oh, down by 1. It's now 43. Josie, you get another 7. Doesn't matter where you put it, they're all 7s. Nothing will change.
By where the 6 is at?
Okay, April, get a point. Let's see. Nope, you rolled a 7 also. That doesn't change it. Well, that was a stupid end to the game. We all rolled 7s forever. Okay.
I like it. It's challenging.
Yeah, it's a good brain exercise. Our next thing we're doing is picking two numbers and fiddling with them. We're making them 10% bigger and smaller or 5% bigger and smaller. And I'm going to pick 10. Now let's be very easy. Let's pick 100 and 200. So what is 5% of 100? What's 5 out of 100 of 100? That's just 5. So if it's 5% bigger, then we get to be 105. With me so far?
Yes.
And the same thing, 5% from 100, 5 out of 100, that's just 5 because it's out of 100. So if we go
Yes.
down by 5, we're at 95. With 200, what's 10%? Oh, now we're doing 10%. So remember, 10% was scoot the decimal point just once. We did that with the tipping. So not 200, but 20. So if we add the 20 and the 200 together, then we get 220. Or if we subtract the 20 away, we're at 180. Are you okay about filling these in?
Yes.
I can certainly write more on the board if it helps. So now what we're going to do is pick one of our operations, plus, minus, times, or divide, and go across each row doing that. So which operation do you want to use while I fill in our numbers?
Times.
Times, okay. So we have 105 times 220. 23,100. 100 times 200. Well, 1 times 2 is 2. And how many zeros are there hanging out? 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. And then 95 times 180. 17,100. So why are we doing this? We are pretending that we are estimating badly. We're planning a road trip, we're planning a vacation or something, and we don't know exactly what this number will be. Maybe this is how much the hotel costs each night or something like that. So maybe the actual amount is bigger, or maybe the actual amount is smaller. A second number we need has a bigger wiggle. It's not just 5%, it's 10% bigger or smaller. If our estimates were off, then does it change it a lot? Kind of. But it's not like it brings it down to like half of what it should be. Does that kind of make sense that this is what it should be? And this is overestimating and this is underestimating? This is guessing too small and this is guessing too big when we don't really know what the prices will turn out to be. So the game here is to play around a bit. Fill this in with different numbers, make them bigger, make them smaller, try different operations, and see which ones change a lot. Let's make a copy of this to show you a disaster. So what happens if we do Let's do division where the second number is small. So let's think about this. If our number that we start with is supposed to be 1, what's 10% of 1? Let's take the 1, do that 10% trick from tipping where we're going to scoot it once, and we get 0.1. So that's 10% of 1. So 10% bigger than 1 is the original 1 with that 0.1. And 10% smaller would be 1 minus that. And you see what it will be before I do it. 0.9. Take away 1/10 and you have 9/10 left. And then let's have a big number like 1,000. So what is 5% of 1,000? It would be 0.05 times 1,000, 50. Now, if we go across 1,050 divided by 1.1 gives me about 955. A 1,000 divided by 1 times 1 divided by 1, that doesn't change it. 950 divided by 0.9 gives me 1,056 about. Nope, I was trying to make one that changed a whole lot, but it didn't. It only changed by a little more than 50 or a little less than 50. So you can play around with it, do it more times and see when the numbers change a lot or don't. And then what really can mess things up is if you don't keep it symmetric. If for one thing, you mix up an overestimate and an underestimate. And for the other one, you also mix up an overestimate and an underestimate. So play around with that if you're curious and see how badly estimating wrong, because sometimes we can't avoid it. We just don't know how much something will cost. We have to guess as best we can about gas and hotel prices and wedding cakes and whatever else. And how much can you be wrong because your estimate wasn't accurate despite trying?